The city was a sprawling canvas of lights and shadows, where the wealthy lived in towering penthouses and the poor struggled to keep the flicker of hope alive. Among the bustling streets and narrow alleyways, a boy named Liam made his way through life with nothing but determination and a heart full of dreams. Liam was 17, his clothes often patched, his shoes worn thin, but his eyes carried a spark that no poverty could extinguish. One afternoon, while delivering newspapers to the upscale district, he accidentally dropped a stack of papers near a grand mansion. As he bent down to pick them up, a voice, soft yet commanding, spoke from behind him. "Careful, you might hurt yourself." He looked up to see Isabella, a girl who could have stepped out of a magazine cover. Her hair was the color of autumn sunlight, her eyes a vivid green that seemed to look right into his soul. She was 17 as well, the daughter of one of the city's wealthiest families, surrounded by luxury and expectation. Liam's heart thumped. He had seen rich people before, but Isabella was different. There was a gentleness in her gaze, a curiosity that wasn't common among the privileged. "I'm sorry," Liam stammered. "I didn't mean to." "It's okay," Isabella said with a smile, bending down to help him gather the papers. "I'm Isabella, and you are—" "Liam," he whispered, feeling a strange warmth in his chest. That brief encounter sparked something neither of them could name. From that day on, Liam found excuses to be near her district, to see her even if it was just for a fleeting glance. And Isabella, for reasons she didn't yet understand, began to notice him too. Not as a delivery boy, but as someone who saw the world differently. Someone untouched by her world of wealth and pretense. Days turned into weeks, and what began as a chance encounter blossomed into something neither Liam nor Isabella could ignore. They found themselves meeting in quiet corners of the city, abandoned parks, small cafes, and along the riverbank where the water reflected the colors of the setting sun. Isabella laughed like she had never laughed before. Liam, who had grown up thinking life was mostly struggle, found joy in the simplest moments. One rainy afternoon, as they shared a tattered umbrella, Liam whispered, "I feel like I can be myself with you. No expectations, no pretending." Liam looked into her eyes, the rain falling around them, and said softly, "I feel the same. With you, everything feels lighter somehow." Their hands brushed, then intertwined. It was a touch electric and terrifying, the first spark of something deeper than friendship. They began to exchange letters and secret messages, their love growing in the shadows of a world that might never accept it. But the weight of reality was never far. Isabella's family, the Carters, were traditional and strict. They had plans for her future, elite schools, prestigious parties, and, most importantly, a wealthy fiancé who could secure the family's legacy. Liam, poor and unknown, could never fit into their world. One evening, Isabella received a text from her father. "Come home immediately. You're needed. And remember, your future depends on choices you make wisely." Her heart sank. That night, she met Liam by the river. She buried her face in his chest, trying to hold back tears. "I don't care," Liam said fiercely, holding her close. "We'll find a way, I promise." The world outside was indifferent, but in that moment nothing else existed. The city's noise faded, the lights blurred into a soft glow, and all that remained was the rhythm of their hearts, beating in sync despite the barriers that threatened to tear them apart. Yet, even as they embraced, a shadow of fear lingered. Each day they were together, Isabella's parents' control tightened, and Liam's own insecurities gnawed at him. Could love truly overcome the world's walls? The weeks that followed were filled with stolen moments and quiet joy, but the walls around them were closing in. Isabella's parents had begun to notice her absences and her growing defiance. They watched, suspicious and unyielding, as their carefully constructed world seemed to slip through their fingers. One evening, Isabella's father confronted her in the grand dining room, the chandelier casting harsh shadows across his stern face. "You are making a mistake," he said, voice cold. "This boy, he is not suitable for you. He is nothing. You will end this foolishness, or there will be consequences." Isabella's mother, equally severe, added, "Your happiness is irrelevant. You have duties, responsibilities. Marriages like yours are planned for families, not for whims of the heart." Tears stung Isabella's eyes, but she stood tall. "I love him. I can't, won't choose anyone else." Her father slammed the table. "You will regret this. You have no idea what the world will do to you." Meanwhile, Liam struggled with his own fears. He had promised her a future together, but he knew the world outside the riverbanks and parks was harsh. The city's divide between the rich and the poor was merciless. He walked home that night, the weight of uncertainty pressing on his shoulders, wondering if love alone was enough to survive the storm ahead. Days passed in a tense haze. Isabella's parents increased their surveillance, hiring private guards and limiting her outings. Each secret meeting became riskier, every whispered conversation a gamble. One night, at their hidden spot by the river, Isabella sobbed in Liam's arms. "They're going to separate us. I can feel it," she whispered, her voice breaking. Liam held her tighter, anger and helplessness warring inside him. "We can't let them win. We'll find a way. I swear, we will not be apart." The pain in their hearts grew unbearable. Friends and neighbors watched, rumors spread, and the tension became suffocating. The city that once seemed full of possibility now felt like a cage. Then came the night that changed everything. Isabella's father discovered their secret meeting spot. In a furious rage, he confronted them, dragging Isabella back home. Liam was beaten back by guards, left on the riverbank as Isabella's cries echoed in the night. For hours, Liam sat in the dark, staring at the water, feeling as though the world had collapsed. His heart ached, not just for himself, but for Isabella, trapped in a golden prison she could not escape. That night, the city seemed empty, cold, and merciless. It was the moment when despair threatened to drown them, and yet, somewhere deep inside, a spark of hope remained, because love, true and defiant, refuses to be extinguished, even in the darkest of nights.
The night was cloaked in shadows, but it carried a promise of freedom if only they dared. Isabella had made a decision. She would not live a life dictated by fear or wealth. she would follow her heart. Under the cover of darkness, she slipped from her family's mansion, a small bag of essentials in hand. Liam was waiting at the old bridge, their secret meeting spot that had been a witness to so many stolen moments. "Are you ready?" Liam whispered, his eyes scanning the quiet streets. Isabella nodded, determination shining through her fear. "I've never been more ready in my life." Hand in hand, they ran through the narrow alleys, past the familiar landmarks of the city that had been both their playground and their prison. The cold night air bit at their skin, but their hearts burned with hope and love. They could hear distant shouts of guards, the echo of authority trying to reclaim what it could not understand. But the city belonged to no one, and their courage outmatched any barrier. Finally, they reached the outskirts, where the city lights faded into the horizon. A small, forgotten train station awaited them, a relic of the past, but a ticket to the future. They bought 2 tickets with the little money Liam had saved over the months, the last barrier between them and the life they dreamed of. As the train pulled away from the station, Isabella rested her head on Liam's shoulder. "We did it," she whispered, tears streaming down her face. "No one can take this from us, not now, not ever." The city receded behind them, its walls and expectations shrinking into the distance. Ahead lay unknown roads, challenges, and a life they would build together, not dictated by wealth or status, but by love. For the first time in their lives, they felt the intoxicating sweetness of choice. They were no longer bound by the rules of a world that had tried to keep them apart. In each other's arms, they had found a home that no mansion, no money, and no authority could ever replicate. And as the train sped through the night, carrying them toward endless possibilities, they whispered promises of forever. Liam kissed Isabella's forehead, a silent vow of devotion, and she pressed her lips to his hand, a gentle affirmation of the love that had defied every obstacle. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear: together they were unstoppable. And in that moment, as the train disappeared into the horizon, they were not just 2 young lovers, they were a testament to the power of love, courage, and the belief that no barrier is too high when hearts are united.